Emily and Mark had been married for 12 years. They met in college, two dreamers who built a life out of shared ambitions and simple love. Mark worked as a systems analyst, steady and dependable, while Emily taught art at a local school. Together, they built a quiet life in Denver, surrounded by friends, weekend brunches, and family barbecues. But like so many marriages that get caught in the routine of work and responsibility, something inside Emily began to drift. She loved Mark, she really did, but she began to feel that their marriage lacked excitement. Her friends often joked about spicing things up, and the endless relationship podcasts she listened to didn't help. They spoke about freedom, self-discovery, and open communication. Somewhere in that mix of modern ideas, Emily started to believe that she was missing something, that marriage should be more adventurous. One night, over dinner, she brought up a subject that left Mark speechless. "Mark," she said softly, tracing her finger along her wine glass, "I think maybe we've become too predictable. Maybe we need to try something different, something more open." Mark looked at her, confused. "What do you mean by open?" She hesitated. "Like an open marriage. We love each other, but maybe it wouldn't hurt to explore, just to see what's out there. No secrets, no lies, just honesty." Mark set his fork down. His heart sank, though he tried to hide it. "Emily, are you unhappy?" She smiled nervously. "No, it's not that. I want to feel alive again." That night, Mark couldn't sleep. He kept staring at the ceiling, wondering when love had become something that needed permission to wander. He wasn't angry, not yet. Mostly, he was hurt and confused. Over the next few weeks, Emily insisted that what she wanted was harmless, that many couples did it and stayed together. She said it was about growth. Against his better judgment, and desperate not to lose her, Mark agreed. But deep down, something sacred between them began to crumble. Emily met new people. Just friends, she claimed, but her time with Mark decreased. The warmth they once shared became routine check-ins and awkward silences. Then one day, Emily came home looking pale and quiet. Mark asked what was wrong, but she brushed it off, saying she wasn't feeling well. Days turned into weeks, and she visited the doctor. When she came back, she couldn't look him in the eye. Mark gently pressed, "Emily, what did the doctor say?" Tears welled in her eyes. "It's nothing serious," she said, avoiding him. But later that night, Mark found the paper on the counter, a medical report with results that changed everything. It was clear, she had contracted an infection, one that could only have come from intimate contact. Mark stood in the kitchen for minutes, frozen. He didn't shout. He didn't throw anything. He simply folded the paper and placed it on her side of the table. When Emily came home, he said quietly, "You wanted openness, Emily. But some doors, once opened, can't be closed." She broke down crying, apologizing, begging for forgiveness. But the damage was already done. Mark realized that this wasn't just about trust or health, it was about values. About what love meant to him. He didn't humiliate her in public, didn't expose her to friends. Instead, he kept silent, letting time move. Then one evening, during a family dinner at her parents' home, the truth came out unexpectedly. Her father asked Mark how they were doing. Mark smiled politely. "We're managing," he said. But her brother, noticing the tension, pressed further. "You two okay? You've seemed distant lately." Emily tried to change the subject, but Mark calmly said, "I think it's time everyone knows the truth. Maybe it'll help her understand what she's lost." He pulled out the folded paper, the same report she had hidden, and placed it on the table. Silence filled the room. Emily's parents looked confused, then horrified. Emily's mother whispered, "Emily, what is this?" Tears streamed down Emily's face. "I made a mistake," she sobbed. "I thought I needed freedom. I was wrong." Mark stood up, his voice steady but soft. "I loved you with everything I had. I would have given you the world. But I won't be someone's second option." He left quietly, without slamming a door or shouting a word. That night marked the end of their marriage. Months later, Emily moved into a small apartment near her school. She tried to rebuild, though the loneliness was hard to bear. Every morning she saw couples walking their dogs, holding hands, smiling like she and Mark once did. She finally understood that love was never about freedom from someone, it was about freedom with someone. As for Mark, he focused on himself. He began therapy, reconnected with old friends, and started volunteering at a youth center. One afternoon, while sitting at a park bench reading, he smiled at the sunlight dancing through the trees. For the first time in a long time, he felt peace. Emily saw him from afar once. She wanted to approach him but didn't. She knew she had already said everything she could. Instead, she whispered softly to herself, he deserved better. In the end, the story of Emily and Mark became a quiet reminder to everyone who knew them, that love, trust, and respect aren't things you experiment with. They're sacred. And as Mark once said to a friend months later, sometimes the best revenge isn't anger, it's peace.